the investigator told me is that they find the colors of my kippa weird, komisch, as they say. Sisters, I'm now on my way to Istanbul. I was invited by Emek Partisi to participate in the name of Jüdische Stimme of Jewish Voice for Justice in a peace conference about the situation in the Middle East, specifically in Gaza. Today, when I arrived to the airport, I was wearing my kippa and my kafia as usual. I was stopped at the passport control. My phone was taken away. After about 15-20 minutes, a police officer arrived and asked me to escort him to the police station at the airport, Berlin. I was asked to enter an investigation room where I was investigated for about 15 minutes by two officers without uniform, on civil clothes, and another two police officers with uniform. Among other things, the investigator told me is that they find the colors of my kippa weird, komisch, as they say. I don't find my kippa weird. I find it quite insulting that an Aryan police officer tells me that my kippa looks weird to him. I find it unacceptable, and I'm looking forward to see whether the Central Council of Jews will stand on my side, as they stood on the side of Gilo Farim back then, who invented a story of how he was affected by anti-Semitism. So now I have proof that state institution, namely the police, mocked Jews, pointed at us, laughed at us, just for exercising our democratic right to visibly perform our Jewishness in the public sphere. The police officer who investigated me also asked me about my political beliefs. I found it, of course, unacceptable, and I told him that I am not going to cooperate with the way in which this conversation is going. I'm free to think whatever I want. This is my basic democratic right. He then apologized and reassured that the questions that he asked are indeed out of curiosity, as he says, and not questions I am obliged to answer. Sisters, keep this in mind. We are not here to entertain them. If they detain us, we have the right to remain silent. We don't have to cooperate with a state institution that marks us as a problem and that shows curiosity towards us. It is not about curiosity, it's not about entertainment. What we're witnessing is oppression of democratic rights. And as such, we also approach it. The woman investigator who was there in the room told me, and listen carefully, she told me that as a German citizen, me, when I'm going outside of Germany, I am representing the face of Germany. And I think this is an important reminder that those who are in power here are literally afraid of us. They are scared to death. And this is exactly the reason why we witness the dimensions and the resolution of state oppression in the way that we experience them at the moment here in Germany. The man investigator told me, and I'm quoting, unlike in the democracy of Germany, in Turkey, you're not being asked questions. You are being detained immediately. Sisters, just keep in mind, Aryan supremacy is a real threat. It's a real problem. Aryans do not even realize that what happens here is manifestation of Aryan supremacy, because the state has been designed by Aryans for Aryans. So Aryans have it very easy to blend in the Aryan background. They are not being stopped for not performing Aryanness. But me, when I'm putting the kippa on, I do not have the privilege, and it is a privilege, to blend in to the Aryan background. I am being stopped, I am being detained, my democratic rights are being taken away. I'm confronted with Aryan supremacy. This is exactly why we're talking about Aryan supremacy when we talk about this manifestation of state oppression, of persecution of Jews, specifically those Jews who are not willing to stand in one line with the genocidal ideology of Germany and of Israel, one that enables the genocide now in Gaza and the ethnic cleansing in the West Bank and the regime of apartheid anywhere between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. And also in the context of Germany, Aryan supremacists expect us, Jews, to play the sick game of talking shit about our Muslim siblings. Why would we do this? But surprisingly or not, the Zentralrat, for example, and the Jewish Student Union in Germany, they're willing to talk shit not only about Muslims, but actually support an ongoing genocide. This says Jewishness is not Zionism. Israel does not and cannot speak in the name of Jews as Jews. When we talk about the liberation of Palestine from Zionism, we also talk about the liberation of Judaism from Zionism. In this sense, free Palestine.